Fortunately, we have bipartisan partners in the Senate that are advocating for the bill not to be passed. That is Ilhan Omar on camera thanking Republican senators for killing the Save America Act. She's thanking Republicans. She's thanking them by name adjacent, and not one of them has stood up to say which one she actually means. So we're talking about 6,531 declared non-citizen registrations. Judicial Watch confirming that Virginia canceled them. Declared. These people said it out loud on the forum. And now Virginia stops removing anyone else because they hit the 90-day federal window. And look at the timing on that. The rolls stay dirty straight through the election. Folks, this is the same Ilhan Omar we told you about back in May, sitting inside that $250 million COVID meal fraud story. And now she's on camera thanking Senate Republicans for keeping citizenship checks off of your ballot. Oh, watch her say it. And then watch President Trump answer her. And now a consumer bulletin that's crossing our desk tonight. Open enrollment season is approaching, and the planned comparison window for millions of American seniors is about to narrow again. And here's the part they cut. For patriots, millions of seniors are overpaying for Medicare right now. Big insurance profits from the confusion, the mailers, the robocalls, the fine print. Nobody finishes. See, there's a newsroom for your Medicare, and it's called Chapter. Independent Medicare advisors, the only advisors comparing every plan nationwide, not just the carriers paying for placement. So you see, Chapter reviews your doctors and prescriptions, then reports back the truth. Already in the right plan, they will confirm. If you're already on the best plan, they'll say so. If you're not, they help you switch plans. One call under 20 minutes and it costs you nothing. 910-728-4109. That's the number, and that's the bulletin. Now back to Omar's thank you note, but we need to give honorable mention to Jenna Griswold. That's the Colorado Secretary of State. She's sitting on the voter file right now. Her words, quote, DOJ is suing states trying to get voter data. I told them, take a hike. That's what she said. Take a hike. The RNC is already suing her for letting people vote who never lived in Colorado. And now the Post. Here we have, direct from the White House, President Trump. Voter ID and proof of citizenship are common sense. And they really are. President Trump breaks down the failures of congressional Democrats, election integrity, the Save America Act, and more with Jake Sherman of Punchbowl News. And right on cue, we have to reset our Bluetooth because we didn't do it before the segment. And that is the glory of live streaming. So as the
to vote.
Oh, there we go. There is our commander-in-chief.
Just to make sure, because the elections are rigged in this country. Sir. The elections are a mess in this country.
Yes, they are.
And that was proven in 2020. But you have all the... I view that as a very important thing. It's voter ID. If you just even take the ballots out of it, the ballots are very important. But we do that another time. Voter ID, and it's proof of citizenship. And I figure you can't get any more basic than that. In other words, we want to see your citizenship. We want to make sure that you're a citizen to vote. We like photo ID, just to make sure, because the elections are rigged in this country. The elections are a mess in this country. And that was proven in 2020. But you have all the Democrats are going to vote against it. Every Democrat is going to vote against voter ID.
They have 5 times, to be clear.
Well, they do it over and over. And I think it should pay a price during the election, for the election. Every single Democrat is opposed. But not only that, they're opposed to even the great, big, beautiful bill. I like the term better than the one. I like the great better than the one. But the great, big, beautiful bill is something that they all voted against, every single one of them. So they voted against, no tax on tips, and they voted against Social Security, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, car loan deductions, all these things, these incredible things. They voted against everything. They vote against transgender all the time, the mutilization of your children. They vote against open borders. They vote in favor of open borders. They vote totally in favor of open borders. These people, It's the craziest thing. So I like having their hands go up voting against all of these things. But when you vote against, as an example, when you vote against the Save America Act, you're voting against fair voting. And when you think that they're voting against citizenship, I want to see a citizenship. These are things that nobody can understand when they're voting against photo ID.
That's your commander-in-chief right there. And now Ilhan Omar publicly thanking Senate Republicans for killing that bill. Here she is at the podium calling them her bipartisan partners. This from The Blaze. Omar thanks establishment GOP senators for refusing to pass the Save America Act.
Congress, one of the other things that we are staying vigilant and watching out for is the president's #1 priority, which is the SAFE Act. We believe that is a piece of legislation that is going to disenfranchise so many people from the vote. And we do have, fortunately, partners in the Senate that are bipartisan, that are advocating for the bill not to be passed.
Bipartisan destruction. And then Eric Darty's take on that is rather blunt. She's gloating because she benefits, and he pairs it with President Trump saying Thune is trying, but the votes aren't there. He writes, Somali Rep Ilhan Omar celebrating the Senate GOP for not passing the Save America Act. Everybody must realize the third world pirate is gloating over this because she benefits from the fraud. The Save Act, we believe it will disenfranchise so many. Fortunately, we have bipartisan people in the Senate advocating for the bill not to be passed. Pass secure elections and destroy them in November. That is the winning formula. Let's see, I think this is
the president's #1 priority, which is the SAFE Act. We believe.
Let's see real quick here, because we have that clip of Omar. This is
Congress, one of the other things.
So this one is, yeah, let's go to that. Wait, what happened to my Omar clip?
Congress, one of the other things.
Did I just lose the, oh, okay.
Is the president's #1 priority, which is the SAFE Act. We believe that is a piece of legislation that is going to disenfranchise so many people from their ability to vote.
So the fraud is not theoretical. Virginia found 6,500 non-citizen registrations, then announced they won't remove another one inside 90 days of a federal election. So this also from Eric Doherty. It's been exposed that the state of Virginia, after finding thousands of non-citizens on the voter rolls, will not remove any more 90 days out from an election. Virginia has an active agreement with left-wing organizations to shield voter fraud. Judicial Watch confirmed it. 6,531 declared non-citizen voter registrations were canceled. That's only the ones they publicly knew about, and the fraud is everywhere. The Save America Act is existential. So Colorado's Jenna Griswold goes further. The Secretary of State says she told the DOJ to take a hike on voter rolls. Lovely, right? Pro-voter fraud Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, this is what war correspondent is writing, just openly admitted she's refusing to turn over the voter rolls to Trump administration despite hundreds of thousands of non-citizens being confirmed on the rolls nationwide. She's also being sued by the RNC for allowing people to vote in the elections who never lived in the state. She said, quote, the DOJ is suing states trying to get voter data. I told them to take a hike. Force her into compliance and seize the voter rolls immediately. What is she hiding? That is the question. So President Trump told Jake Sherman, quote, you can't get anywhere any more basic than that. Show ID, prove you're a citizen, and that's the floor. And a block of Senate Republicans looked at the floor and stepped off it. So Ilhan Omar could go on television, and what did she do? She thanked them for it. When she thanks you, you're not a moderate. You have now become Ilhan Omar's asset. So find out which Senate Republicans Omar was thanking and call their offices tomorrow morning. That's the assignment. Make them say it on record before November. Did you stall proof of citizenship, yes or no? Demand Virginia resume removals inside that 90-day window. Force Griswold to hand over the rolls that she's hiding. Every fake ballot cancels out a real American. One citizen at a time, and that's theft. This bill isn't dead, folks. It's stalled, and stalled things move when the pressure gets unbearable. So share this report, drop the name of your senator in the comments, and let's find out who's on Omar's thank you list. Pass secure elections, then win so big in November that none of this is ever close again. And there's one more thing on the SAVE Act fight that didn't make this segment. Text White House to 844-840-4963 and it lands on your phone tonight, straight from our credentialed team inside the building. No algorithm standing in the way, but receiving is only half of it. If you want to be the one that's pushing this Omar clip into the feeds where it actually stings, text SIGNAL to that same number, and you're in the next news Signal Corps. We'll tell you where to hit. We track it. So let's go, Patriots.